there are certain prime reasons for this. I think there is a serious feeling inside Pakistan that the people of Palestine have really suffered. And honestly, if we analyze, I think the world has ignored them. There was the Israeli application with impunity and this genocidal application that really was unable to impact the world. Pakistan, being very close to the feelings of people of Palestine, probably decided to get involved into the conflict and to become a little more meaningful player. And without, joining such efforts, I can understand that there are many things which are in gray. There are many things which have apprehensions. Many people have apprehensions about this, the outcomes of such initiatives. But to be very honest, otherwise, if you're not part of that board, Pakistan must have felt that we should be part of this process. So at least we can impact it, or at least we have little direct stakes in it for the people of Palestine. Secondly, people of Pakistan also have their aspirations. They have serious feelings about the people of Palestine, because Palestine and Kashmir are two core issues which are which really impact every citizen of Pakistan. So that was another reason. And secondly, I've already mentioned that Pakistan wanted to be a meaningful player in it, at least to some extent, where it can directly impact the outcomes of such initiatives. So these are the prime reasons. And then, as far as the diplomacy and as far as other than the Palestinian, I think Pakistan has become a meaningful player. We are seeing Pakistan's involvement in West Asia and Middle East. We are seeing Pakistan's involvement in other conflicts. And then after this application, Marka-e-Haq, Pakistan's war performance, I think the whole world is also trying to get strategically connected with Pakistan, especially countries in Middle East. Now, we being partner of Saudi Arabia, strategic partners of Saudi Arabia, of course, we have some stakes in the politics of that region also, which have some impact on Saudi Arabia, or at least Saudi's policies in that region will also impact our strategic partnership. So directly or indirectly, we have certain connections. And once we are working with 8 Muslim countries, it means that as far as the Muslim voices are concerned, especially with respect to the Palestinians, with respect to the marginalized Muslims, with respect to the Islamophobia, this can be a very good beginning to have more collaborative, collective approach towards any conflict in future, or the major conflicts for the Muslims. So these are the certain reasons for which I think that Pakistan has got them in this process. I think Pakistan will stick to it till the time that there is a larger consensus in the Middle East, and especially by the people of Palestine. If those political objectives of having a contiguous state basing on 1963, 1967 borders, or maybe there might be, considering the new realities, there might be some changes. But if those changes are acceptable to the people of Palestine, then Pakistan may review it. But till that time, Pakistan is standing with the principal stance of not recognizing Israel. I can understand people do have apprehensions once there are talks about the Abraham Accord and the way Trump is approaching international problems. So people get apprehensive that this is kind of a consent to their objectives. Probably it is not. Pakistan, in this, as far as stances are concerned, Pakistan is very firm. We have seen Pakistan condemning United States once they attacked Iran. Pakistan has condemned Israeli application in all its forms and manifestations. And Pakistan stood by it. Pakistan was under a lot of pressure once we had skirmishes with India. So a lot of international pressure to, allow Indians to carry out certain missile strikes so they get a face saving. But in those cases also, Pakistan stood by their firm stances. And Pakistan is not that ordinary country what people try to, assess about Pakistan. Pakistan stands by their principal stance. First, I think Pakistan, if once we are part of the board, You will have all your opportunities to address directly to the policymakers, especially President Trump, and you can advise him, you can give suggestions, and then you can protect the Palestinian rights. I'm talking about the Palestinian rights, what they deserve. You can be a very good voice for the Palestinians, and then once these countries like Pakistan, these middle powers who are representing a non-Arab Muslim world. Of course, President Trump, being the chair of the board, will pay attention. It won't be very easy for him to ignore these suggestions, or at least he will have the pulse. One. Number two, if you become part of the stabilization force, of course, that will be under United Nations mandate and terms and conditions which are acceptable to Pakistan. I think you can impact on the demilitarization of the regions or the objectives of that ISF. But that is a critical thing. That is very sensitive thing. That is later part of it. But being part in the board, I think you can impact heavily. I think the end state, which is the creation of the contiguous independent Palestinian state as per the borders of 1967, that is the best end state. So there might be some medium objectives, but short of that, if we are unable to get this Palestinian state, this conflict will not end. So you can't have simmering environment in Middle East. And if if Pakistan observes or the world observes that Israel is not helping in achieving that end state, which is there in all 20 points, the end state is the creation of the Palestinian state, though it is not at the priority, but at least the conditions are being created towards that. So Pakistan will not be satisfied with the outcomes of such initiative. I don't think so that this is a kind of an engagement with Israel. But over a period of time, we need to understand that there are certain political realities. You have to understand the connection between Israel and United States. Then there are in the Middle East also, there are countries. We need to understand that we have no direct confrontation with Israel. Our confrontation with Israel and their recognition is all related to the Palestinian cause, the people of Palestine. And India has always been, portraying Pakistan as the biggest threat to Israel. Pakistan has never been a threat to Israel till the time if Israel have some designs against Pakistan. Yes, we have observed certain involvement of Israeli military, Israeli intelligence, collaborating and cooperating with Indians and their application against Pakistan. But primarily that was based on the, false information and false portraying of Pakistan being a direct enemy. And we have suffered. But again, Pakistan has a very clear stance on about Israel. But with the political realities, I think Pakistan will have to adjust in future also. But again, depending on the outcomes of initiatives like this Board of Peace or creation of the Palestinian state, if Palestinian state is established and we have no apprehensions about any apprehensions about the Greater Israel project. So it means that if the Arab world is satisfied, Palestinians are satisfied, so Pakistan may review it. But as far as present situation is concerned, it's not a kind of establishment of a contact with Israel or something like that. But I think time has come that we must see the realities on ground also and carve out the best policy which protects the interests of Pakistan. That is very, very important. We have already suffered due to our emotions as far as Afghanistan was concerned, So, but I'm not saying that you leave your stance. Qaeda Muhammad Ali Jinnah is really considering environment at that time once he was here. So he is established, but there are realities which are changing. But if we have the solutions, if we are moving towards the peace, if we are moving towards the stability, I think Pakistan may review their stances, but it's not a direct engagement or indirect engagement with Israel. It is with the international effort for the people of Palestine with which Pakistan is getting themselves associated. There is a kind of a development in Middle East. The strategic partnership with Saudi Arabia. Then we see that UAE is really doing a lot of business with Indians, and Indians are kind of existential threat for Pakistan. So there are changing realities in Middle East, and even in the whole international setup, the whole world is experiencing resets. Look at what is happening in West, what is happening in Africa, in Americas, in Middle East. So there is a reset, larger reset going on. Who could think a few years back that such, rift will establish between NATO, intra-NATO contestation, United States versus West, and there are lot many reviews of policies are taking place. So it is same thing is happening with Pakistan also as far as the Middle East is concerned. But larger, our policy will remain same. We have very good relationship with all the Middle Eastern countries, and we should see things from our own prism, where we are getting, advantage, where we are protecting our interest. That is of the prime importance. We need to understand that, yes, we all understand that the United Nations is being undermined. But yesterday, President Trump, in his speech, has spoken about that he wished that such things was happening through the platform of United Nations. But again, American exceptionalism is on. We understand that, and there is no doubt. America is really exerting their pressures, diplomatic, political, all, and they're trying to lead this. But they've got the cover of United Nations also in this. Yes, United Nations is being undermined, and it is concern for Pakistan. But as far as this peace effort is concerned, the only point which Pakistan considers that priority is, is the genocidal application. 80,000 Palestinians. If we get into their shoes, then we'll come to know how much plight, the Palestinian plight, then we'll understand what is happening over there. So that was the prime reason that Pakistan might be compromising on certain principles. And even otherwise, let's be realistic. What else we could do? Let me know if we are out of this board of peace. Even if there is some parallel, had there been any parallel effort by other big powers like China, Russia, or other countries, from the platform of United Nations would have been coming with other solutions, then we would have some choices to make. But unfortunately, there are not many choices. Emotionally, you can speak a lot, but practically and in real politics, I believe in the realities which are happening on ground. So we can have idealism is good thing, but sometimes you have to adjust yourself with the realities on ground. Yes, of course, there will be a lot of domestic, pressure on the present government. And of course, the biggest fear is that the hope in that end state for the Palestinian, that will die down. Then a lot of disorder will take place. And of course, there would be opposing voices who oppose Pakistan would be voicing about Pakistan, that Pakistan is standing at the opposing end and at the failing end. That will be a big loss. But again, I said that Pakistan is hoping that the outcomes will be positive. Maybe it may take little long, but at least there are other conflicts in the region also. If we are not getting involved into Palestine, the conflict is already at our neighborhood. So you have to be effective, you have to be active, and you have to be rather proactive. If this conflict comes to Iran or at our neighborhood, then we have a serious situation. So you can't afford sitting back and watching and waiting. Other diplomacy and politics might have time at their disposal, but the people of Palestine don't have time. And the situation which is evolving inside Middle East, in our neighborhood, we already have a disturbed Afghanistan. If we have conflict in Iran also, India is also exerting their pressure, then we have a serious situation. So this is one kind of a protective maneuver also for Pakistan to get involved into this conflict and get situation better in Middle East. Of course, failure will damage Pakistan diplomatically, politically, and physically also. Then we can have a situation which is not good for Pakistan. Of course, to mitigate or to address any conflict, most important thing is the acceptance of the parties who are getting involved by both opposing parties, and second is the neutrality. Yes, there are feelings. Let's be realistic that there's little bit, tilt towards the Israeli policy. Yes, there is no doubt in that. But anyway, as I said earlier, that we have to begin from somewhere, once things will start moving, if we are achieving those objectives, and with the passage of time, if we are moving towards the solution of these problems, I think will the confidence will increase. But yet things are in till now things are in gray. Of course, once these clouds will be clear, we'll have a better picture. And if it is not approaching the right way, Pakistan and other countries will understand that's what's going on, and of course, then there'll be a policy shift. Secondly, nowadays these relationships are transitional. Look at India-US relationship. A few years back, I mean, few months back, we were having howdy moody, ab ki baar Trump sarkar, and now look at India, what they're talking about. United States, Canada, United States, NATO versus United States. So things are changing so quickly. All these relationship and this diplomacy is working in small windows of time. So Pakistan will have to adjust themselves into these changing realities, these transitional relationship, transitional advantage. Most important thing is that Pakistan must stand with the vital causes. That is Palestine, that is Kashmir, that is our strategic partnership with China, our partnership with Saudi Arabia. Alhamdulillah, today Pakistan is a meaningful, connected country with the whole world. We must take full advantage of this and protect our vital and our strategic and our critical friendships, our critical objectives by having a good finesse through their diplomacy. I'll keep my fingers crossed, to be very honest. This is the most difficult time to predict what all is happening. Even small incident that becomes a casus belli for attacking other countries, and things are in gray, as I already said. I'll keeping my fingers crossed. But at least if we are addressing the security in the Gaza region, demilitarization of Gaza. Demilitarization means that disarmament of Hamas, as well as moving out of the Israeli defense forces from that region. The security is most important. If those steps are being taken, then of course there'll be reconstruction, the way reconstruction takes place, and how the Palestinians are brought back to their cities and their towns. So that will be seen. So probably this will start indicating about the speed of the achievement of the objectives, and also about the will and of the parties to address the issue. Still things are hazy, but at least this is a compulsion. This is a strategic compulsion for Pakistan to be in it and moving forward. I hope that after 5 years, we are proud of our decision. But of course, decisions are to be taken. If it is wrong, we may amend it. We can take a mid-course correction. If it is good and it is delivering, we'll be very proud of these moments. It's again a $1 million question, depending upon the TURs, because probably Egypt would be leading this coordination, and there is an American general already placed. Again, for the troops, I think the acceptance by parties, who affected parties, and the neutrality is more important. Let's see how Israel reacts to Pakistani participation, but given chance, if the TURs are clear and Pakistan is a given chance, I would say that Pakistan must send its troops for the people of Palestine, for the demilitarization and the peace stability and peace maintenance. That is more important. If it is acting under Chapter 6 of United Nations peace management, then it's fine. But if it is enforcement, then there are apprehensions, and Pakistan will take this decision very carefully. I think it is high time to talk about the political leadership in Pakistan. We have already comparted our policies: political leadership, religious leadership, military leadership, other kinds of leadership, which has always been, at the tangents to each other's policy. Let's be following the Pakistan's policy. And the democracy is already there in Pakistan. There's a civilian government. They have to take decision, but it is good that it is better for the country that consensus is developed, and these things, what all are happening transparently, they should be discussed with other stakeholders in Pakistan. And of course, we must go with the Pakistan policy supported by all segments for our domestic consumption, our domestic politics, because this is matter of life and death. and matter of future of the Palestinians. This is the future of humanity. There's a need to rehumanize Israel. So that effort has to be seen as the effort of 250 million people of Pakistan. So there should be a consensus. And even if there are certain apprehensions, you can't sit back. Inaction will be the biggest enemy of the day for Pakistan.